You are Locked On Mavericks Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Dallas, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, that was not the game that I was expecting. The good news is it's over as the Mavs get blown out by the Bay, falling to the Warriors 126-102. Here we go. Thank you for being with me on this Sunday afternoon. Welcome into the Mavs Postcast, your team every day, and in our case, your team every single game. My name is Jeff Biggs. Happy to be with you. Thank you for watching Locked On Sports Dallas, your destination after every single game. You can also find us on the Locked On Mavs podcast feed. And a reminder, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Coming up on our show today, we'll talk about what happened and where this game got away from the Mavs to the Warriors. We'll look at the numbers, as bad as they might be, and we'll actually tell you there was one little positive, one little one to take away from this game. We'll get into that as well. But we begin, well, two things. Number one, we want to hear from you via the comment crew, so please jump in. Want to get your thoughts. Please join the show. That's what we're here for. We're live. This is a postcast, and we want you to be a part of the show. We want to hear from you via the comment crew. So please jump in and do that. But we start with what I call the Biggs takeaway, and that is just my initial thoughts of this game. Now, as I said, this was not the game that I was anticipating. I was actually looking forward to this game today. I was excited about the matchup. I thought kind of getting out on the road again after a good win Friday night at home, I thought going out on the road, getting this game before the Luka game, I thought was a good thing. I thought kind of the earlier start might give the guys a little bit of a boost as well, but I did not envision this kind of a beatdown and this kind of a blowout. Mavs have not, to their credit, I mean, they have not had many of these at all this season, even with all of the injuries and all the issues that they've had. But when they happen and you have to witness it and sit through it, it's tough. It's painful to watch. No fun at all. I thought, selfishly, the Mavs win over the Warriors right before the All-Star break, when they were shorthanded, that was one of the better wins, one of the more enjoyable wins of the season for me anyway. I love that. I thought it was great. I loved the way that the Mavs stepped it up and won that game. But this one today, tough. But now here's the Biggs takeaway. Here's where we go. I mean, a couple things you have to consider. Number one, the Warriors had not been home until their last home game before today was February 3rd. So they've been away from home and on the road for a really long time. They played 7 straight games away from home. That's a long time. That's a long stretch. February 3rd, their last home game, number one. Number two, today was Jimmy Butler's home debut. All right. So that, I mean, look, so when you factor that with the fact that the Warriors were embarrassed. I mean, they probably came into Dallas before the break, thought they were going to get that win, and they just got beat. They got outplayed. Steph didn't have a great game, and the Mavs simply won that game. They outplayed, they won, they fought hard, and it was a big win. So you factor that with the Warriors coming home today, haven't been home since February 3rd, Jimmy Butler's home debut. You knew they were going to be up for this one. They were going to be cranked up, sky high, Klay back in the building, and they were ready to go. And the Mavs just never got off the ground, never got off the mat. And to the Warriors' credit, like good veteran teams. This was their day. They wanted to come back and come back home, get a win, avenge that loss before the All-Star break, get Jimmy Butler a win in his home debut, all those things. And that's what happened. 126-102, the final. Tip your cap. Like I said, there haven't been many of these for the Mavs. You can probably count them on one hand, the bad losses this season, but it happened today. Not fun, not pretty, but now here's the other part of the takeaway. Here's the good part. The good news is, I mean, this was such a beating and such a beatdown, and Kyrie and Klay and some of the starters got to rest. They're going to be even more ready, more amped up, more focused, more locked in, and even more jacked up, if possible, Tuesday night in LA when they take on Luka and the Lakers. Not that they needed any extra motivation. I mean, nothing more needs to be said. Nothing. There's no buttons. I mean, that's going to be a 10 anyway. But now you add to this a really, really bad loss, and it's going to be a tough, 24, 36, whatever hours, 48 hours until they get back on the court again. And so to me, that's a good thing. You try to find any little advantages you have. And so for me, for the Mavs getting blown out like this, they're going to come out really, really motivated. I'm not sure if Jay Kidd is going to be able to get to practice with them. I would think. I mean, it's only 3:00 in LA or in NorCal. They should be able to get to LA pretty quick, and they should be able to get a practice in tomorrow somewhere. I don't see why not. I mean, they're coming back from the All-Star break. They should be able to get some work in, and they'll be ready to go Tuesday night for the Luka game. So that's my big takeaway. You try to find any positives that you can in a beatdown like this, but again, big picture, not too surprising because, like I said, the Warriors have not been home. Jimmy Butler's home debut, and you knew that they were going to be, jacked up, ready to go for this one. And the way the game started, I got a little excited when the Warriors jumped out 9-4, and I thought, okay, yeah, here we go. But that turned quickly, and the Mavs ended up with their lowest scoring first quarter of the season, 18 points, and they just never recovered. They made a little run. They played better in the second quarter, got it down to, I think, 14? What was it, 17 at halftime? Yeah, 17 at halftime. So they were trying to get it close to 10. That's what I say that all the time. It's like a mental thing with teams. They try to get it to 10 or under 10, and that's like a win when you can do that. Teams feel like that's a win when you can do that, and they did. I mean, they made a little bit of a dent in the second quarter, but the third and the fourth. The third, they were outscored 39-31. Warriors went up big, ended up leading by 25, 26, and it was ugly. Just a bad day, bad loss. The Warriors, to their credit, also, they learned from that loss a couple weeks ago or a week and a half ago, whatever it was, here in Dallas, that the Mavs can hustle, but they don't have any bigs. And so the Warriors' game plan was just, hey, attack the rim, get rebounds, run, and they did all of that. And that's why they won as handily as they did. But again, for the Mavs, now it's okay, bad loss, it's going to sting, but the good news is you can take out and channel all of that and lock in and get ready for Tuesday night in LA against Luka and the Lakers. And that really, that's what this trip is about. That's the game. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're waiting for. So got this one out of the way. day off tomorrow, early. It's a early day today, day off tomorrow, Tuesday night. Let's get it on in LA. That's going to be epic. All right. When we come back, want to hear from you via the comment crew. Want to get your thoughts on anything. Anything is fair game. Not much to talk about with a game today. But again, we talked about this Friday night. I mean, before today, I mean, the Mavs had very quietly, they had won 3 in a row and 5 out of 6. So, man, if they could go into LA and steal that game against the Lakers, that would be pretty sweet. As bad as this loss is today, and if they can bounce back and really step it up. I mean, Kyrie, when they beat the Warriors, went off for 42 last time out. Kyrie really struggled today. 7 of 19, 1 of 6 from beyond 3, ended up with 17 points, but was a minus 20, played 32 minutes. So he got a lot of rest today. So he'll be ready to go. They showed him, even with all that work that he puts in before the game, doesn't guarantee success, but he's going to be ready for Tuesday night. And so, hey, Kyrie, big game in LA. Some of the other Mavs that struggled today, Klay. I mean, everybody's going to be fired up for Tuesday night, and can't wait. All right, so want to hear from you. Want to get your thoughts? Please jump in via the comment crew. You can do that. We're going to be with you for 2 more segments. Lots to talk about before we finish things off today. So please join us and be a part of the show. 126 to 102, the final today. This is the Mavs Postcast. All right, NBA fans, get ready. They swoosh, you save. Thanks to Dash Pass, every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. It's simple. When any player scores 50 or more in a game during the 24-25 NBA season, regular season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order, up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. Now, here are a few ways you can take advantage of this deal. How about a game day feast? After an epic 50-point performance, you can celebrate by ordering wings or pizza, burgers from your favorite spot delivered right to your door. You can satisfy late night cravings, lunch on the go, or if you're having a watch party, maybe you're going to have a big party on Tuesday night, kind of a late start in LA, or late start for us here in Texas, but 7 o'clock start in LA. You can plan to watch the big game, order your go-to snacks and meals at a discount, and get ready for more high-scoring action. So what do? You sign up for Dash Pass and be ready to save. It's that easy. When any player scores 50 or more in a game, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. You must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. All right, welcome back to the Mavs Postcast, 126 to 102, the final. Jeff Biggs, glad to be with you. Wish the results were a little bit better today. And again, we want to hear from you via the comment crew. So please jump in, get your thoughts before we finish up today. We mentioned this was the home debut today for Jimmy Butler. So he was jacked up. And the Mavs wanted to get him that win. But you looked at the game today, the Mavs went with the same starting lineup: Kyrie, Klay, Dante Exum, PJ, and Kessler Edwards. And the first quarter, like I said, it was the Mavs' lowest scoring quarter of the season. So that really kind of set the tone. The Mavs were 2 of 9 from beyond the three-point line, 8 of 24, and Steph had 10 points in the first quarter. Second quarter, Klay got teed up. Kyrie didn't get his first points of the game until the second quarter. The Mavs had 11 turnovers in the first half, only 2 free throws. The Warriors went up by 22. Kyrie was 2 of 10. Klay was 0 for 3. And he had PJ with 10, 9 off the bench for Najee. And the Warriors were up at the half, 61-44. And then again in the third, the Mavs tried to make a little bit of a dent, but it was to no avail. The Warriors ended up winning the third quarter 39-31 and just broke the game away, broke the game open, went up by 25, 26 at different points. I mean, it was just a beatdown, and ended up winning 126-102. We mentioned PJ and Kyrie both had 17 points apiece. Klay Thompson felt for him because, the desire is there, right? The effort, the desire, the wanting to go back home. This is, second, third game back? How many games back? This was second game back. Third game. Yeah, third game in Oakland. That's right. They played once in November. The Mavs won the second game. That was when that was in the middle of December, 143-133. That was a shootout. And then the Mavs won at home 11 days ago. And then the Warriors won today. So the two teams split the 4-game series. But I felt bad for Klay. Ended up on the afternoon 3 of 8 overall, 3 of 7 from beyond the three-point line. The Mavs went to the free throw line 19 times, 23 for the Warriors. So not that big of a discrepancy, but the Mavs just could not get the stops, and they could not get their shots to fall. 3-point shooting overall for the team, the Mavs were 13 of 32. The Warriors, not much better. They were 12 of 40. But the rebounding, the Warriors had the edge, 54-42. The turnovers, the Mavs had 18 total, right? And then the points off of turnovers, the Warriors had 30 of their points off of Mavs turnovers. And, they ended up winning by 24. Points in the paint. And this is just to show you how the small ball is kind of affecting the way the team is playing right now. 60-46. The Warriors have the advantage with the points in the paint. And the largest lead, I said 26. It was actually 29 for this one for the Warriors at one point, up by 29. I mean, just an absolute beatdown. Now, what was the other positive, other than the fact that the Mavs are going to be fired up and ready to go for Tuesday night against Luka and the Lakers? Well, on a little minor positive note, Jason Kidd was able to clear his bench. Everybody played. 8 players scored off the bench. Omax had 7. Najee had 9. Najee didn't score in the second half. Kyler Kelly had 2. Moses Brown had 7. Another quiet game for Spencer Dinwiddie, 3. Brandon Williams, 5. I like Brandon Williams. I would like to see him get some more run. I like his game. I think he's a guy that if you give him the opportunity, he will get better. He will improve. But I think he needs some consistency. I know it's been tough with this lineup, but I like his game a lot. How about Max Christie? By far, and this is not to pick on him, just the way the game was played today, but ended up with only 2 points in 22 minutes, 0 for 3 from beyond the three-point line, 1 basket, clearly his worst game in a Dallas uniform. And Jaden Hardy, we have not heard much of him. He had that little stretch there before the break when he had like 2 or 3 really bad games in a row and thought he might be in the doghouse, but he got out of it today. So Jason Kidd, I think, is underrated. Does a very good job of pushing the buttons and kind of knowing where guys are at and when they need to sit and when they're ready to go and ready to play. And Jaden Hardy, very quietly, 11 points, 16 minutes, had a 3, had an assist, did have 4 turnovers. That's not good. You don't want that. But good to see him get some minutes. Hopefully, whatever that funk was he was in before the break, hopefully that's gone out of his system and he'll be able to contribute. But that was my little minor minor positive, is that everybody got to play. Obviously, you want the win. You don't want to lose by 24. You don't want to get blown out on national television on a Sunday afternoon. But it is what it is. And now for the Mavs, it's about, again, getting ready for Tuesday night in LA against the Lakers. All right, we're going to have more on that. Our final segment coming up. Again, we want to hear from you via the comment crew, so please jump in and do that. 126-102, the final. This is the Mavs Postcast. All right, got to talk to you about what is going on at FanDuel. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get it on than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off, or if you want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay. So I've said this before. The cool thing about FanDuel's live betting feature, it really keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether you're backing a team for a late game rally or you're picking a player to hit a clutch 3, you never feel like you're missing any chance or you missed a chance. There's always another opportunity to get into it. And the app is really easy to use. And when you win, you get paid instantly. Now, right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, welcome back to the Mavs Postcast, our final segment here, 126-102. The Mavs go down at Golden State at the Chase Center against the Warriors. They'll have a day off tomorrow before the Tuesday night rematch with Luka and the Lakers. Still weird saying that. Still time left if you want to jump into the comment crew. Speaking of comments, got to give it up to Nick Angstead and the crew on the Locked On Mavs podcast. As I've said throughout the season, Nick's coverage of the Mavs and what's going on with the team is the best anywhere. You know that, but for those of you that don't, be sure and check out every day. Every day there is new content, new updates, the latest on injuries, rumors, everything you need to know. And I want to give Nick a shout out. He ended up talking with Christian Clark of The Athletic during a show yesterday. And if you get a chance to watch it, Nick and Christian talk about Nico Harrison and the trade of Anthony Davis for Luka and kind of some of the things behind the scenes. And it was a really fascinating conversation and gives you a little more insight as to maybe what led to Nico and the Mavs going the way that they did. It's really, as we've talked about since day one, and like I said, Nick and Isaac and Slightly Biased, they have done an outstanding job. But really, at the end of the day, I think Nico and the management just were not sure that Luka was going to be the guy that was going to be able to live up to and lead the team to where they wanted to go, even though he just led them to the NBA Finals last season. But long term, going to that next level with a max deal, apparently they just were not going to do that. Not sure when that decision was made or how broad the conversation in the room was for that. But nonetheless, we will see. We will see if it was the right move or not. As time goes by, we'll see how Anthony Davis, once he's healthy, can he stay healthy? Can he help the Mavs do what they want to do? And on the flip side, we'll see about Luka in LA with the Lakers. One thing I was kind of concerned. I knew that while the Mavs did what they wanted to do, you knew that it was going to be a real motivational issue for Luka, and I think we got a glimpse of that a little bit last night in Denver. And I'm very, very excited, curious, whatever cliche you want to use. The bottom line is I'm looking forward to Tuesday night and seeing how that game plays out. The emotions are going to be there for both teams, both sides. We know that. It's going to be everything. I mean, it's going to be exciting, weird, I think a little sad to see Luka in that uniform. I think especially if he goes off, that's going to be tough to watch because we're going to miss him and we're going to wish that he was still here and think about what he might have done here if he had stayed. Anyway, it's all about Tuesday night. I mean, this is the first of the two big games. Of course, the one in April, that's going to be even bigger when Luka returns here to Dallas. But in the meantime, Tuesday night, the Mavs in LA to take on Luka and the Lakers. Hope you'll be able to join me. I know it's going to be a late night, but I hope you'll be up. We're going to be on with you live right after that one ends, even if it's at midnight or a little bit before midnight. We're going to be on. We're going to open it up. We want to hear from you. Want to get your comments, get your thoughts. And of course, Nick and the crew will be doing their thing as well. But until then, thank you for hanging with me today. I wish this one had gone a little bit better. Like I said, I was looking forward to this game. I wanted to see how the Mavs played. The road is usually good. The Mavs play well on the road. I wanted to see Klay get back in the building there, facing his former team. I thought he might go off. Thought after what Luka did last night, maybe Kyrie was going to go off and have a big game. And that is why I don't get to write the NBA script, because things do not always go the way that they do in my mental script, the way that I want them to go. And that's why we continue to watch, and that's why we keep coming back. So anyway, hey, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you for spending a little bit of it with me here today. Tough loss, 126-102, but we'll be raring to go and ready to go for Tuesday night. Until then, be sure and check out Nick and the crew, and I will be back with you after the game with the Lakers and Luka taking on the Mavs. Thank you for watching. This has been the Mavs Postcast.